What up, sports and fitness? What up? What up?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
What up, Steam? What up, Zay?
The
What
Justice
up?
League is here. Let's go.
This is all the video footage.
Oh my God.
I feel
Leave
like
my son out of this shit.
I feel like my computer's been punching me in the face the way LeBron punches players in the face. I can't look at this footage anymore. Oh,
You better leave
Can't
my
talk
son
about
out.
people's kids, man. Protected citizens. That's a protected class. LeBron's son. That's a protected class.
guys, I've got a stupid long list for us to talk about, and that's with me eliminating most of the stuff I'm saving for Sunday. We've got a special Sunday show, everybody. Everybody come back Sunday morning. I'm hosting, and I've got I'm going to be showing some prepared content to the panel for them to react to. So we hope everyone will tune back in. We've got Steam Engine, 93 Zay TV, and Sports and Fitness Rants here. Robin, I'm glad you could make it at the beginning because I know we'll just have to repeat everything because I know you want to lay into this.
We got the fanboys in the comment section already.
Oh no.
The fanboys they ain't even put pants on this morning. They went straight into the live. Let's go.
Right out the shower.
Do me a favor, Robin. Try to
Shower
ignore
with the
them for a while because we've got a lot to get through.
Death.
All right, I had a request to talk about the Stephen A. Smith encounter. That's low-hanging fruit. Why don't we kick off the show with that? Whoever's the angriest, go because I've got plenty to say.
I'm not the angriest, but I'll start because I probably have the least amount of accurate information.
Give us the backstory, Steam. Give us the backstory.
So the long and short of it is LeBron approached Stephen A. Smith. I believe they confirmed it was the third quarter of the game. He got in his face, said some expletives, and then stormed off. And it was real demonstrative. Go figure. And then Stephen A. Was talking on First Take today, saying that LeBron approached him as a father, not a player. Blah blah blah. And that's like, So, okay, let me keep going. I'm sorry. And then Stephen A. said, I didn't plan on talking about it today. They asked me to talk. I'm like, is this real? Is this what's happening? People are believing this. And he said, they have my number. Rich Paul has my number. LeBron has my number. If they want to speak to me, they can. And I'm thinking to myself, if this was a legitimate thing, right? If you had a problem with someone having a problem with your kids, are you ever doing that publicly? As a father, I'm telling you that no, especially if I'm a millionaire, there's money on the line. Secondly, these conversations take place behind the scenes. They know what they're doing. This is all orchestrated. And if anything, it's painting a further picture that LeBron is getting preferential treatment because the idea that his son is protected is wild to me. And it's even scarier that people justify it because it's just him being a father. All right, well, cool. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of fathers out here that can't just say, don't talk about my kids. So that's the long and the short of it. Stephen A. just addressed it this morning. He did his little fake, next time when I see you, he did his deep voice. He did his put Molly up on the screen so I can see your reaction BS. Just more WWE type stuff.
I don't like Stephen A. Smith, but there was one time in my life where I was like, Stephen A., I got your back. And then he comes on the show and he's a bitch. The father thing is not an excuse. LeBron James did this to Bronny. And you know what? I will include the LeBron fans, the fanboys. Go ahead and type verbatim what Stephen A. Smith said that was so fucking terrible. Like, basically, this is just a continuation of the fact that you aren't allowed to observe and talk about what is happening in front of you. Sports media now is being reduced to fanboy level reporting, where if anything bad is happening, you have to pretend you don't see it, and you can only praise people. What did Stephen A. Smith ever say that was that terrible and that LeBron has been harboring? LeBron's been harboring this all year, just waiting for a chance to do it on television instead of speaking to him like a man.
Can I bring up one thing that I forgot to mention real fast? Just real quick. Stephen A. Smith was on ESPN talking about how he's conceding this whole GOAT, whatever. And the tagline says Stephen A. Smith concedes. But that's not the conversation that took place.
No,
It was,
but you're changing the subject.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay, yeah.
Zay's up.
My
Zay's
fault.
up.
Yeah.
Hey, LeBron, I want to say this to LeBron. As a father, please stop this. Please stop the bullshit. All the people that have said something about Bronny, everybody on that network at some point has at least said a little bit of criticism towards Bronny. But you want to single out Stephen A because you knew that it was going to be talked about on national airwaves.
And because he's small.
Yeah. Exactly. He's not going to do that to Charles Barkley. He's not going to do that to certain people. That's
not going to do it to Steven Adams.
Because Stephen A got on television this morning and looked like a neutered dog. He literally sat up there and looked so sad. Was like, I understand LeBron. Like, come on, this is garbage, Stephen A. Where's all that bass in your voice that you have for people on YouTube? People that you have that you won't run across. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get to the real meat and potatoes of this.
Listen, LeBron James was the one who behaved incorrectly. LeBron James should be getting eviscerated. It shouldn't be Stephen A. Smith looking like a neutered dog. Stephen A. Smith pointed out that you couldn't repeat what he said because of all the foul language. Well, what's new? When does LeBron James say anything that doesn't have to be censored out for television? He's the most classless piece of trash I can think of other than one other person.
I want everybody in the chat, everyone that's here, all you guys. Do you guys remember last season when LeBron James flinched at a woman on the sidelines? Do you guys remember that scene when he flinched at that woman on the sidelines? So if we think about that scene, and then we think about some of the players that LeBron James has gone back and forth with in his career, all this highlights that LeBron James is a fake tough guy. He's a legit bully. So let's think about Deshaun Stevenson. You guys remember LeBron James going back and forth with Deshaun Stevenson? Oh, excuse me, Lance Stevenson? You guys remember LeBron James going back with someone like Dylan Brooks? You remember LeBron James going back with guys like Draymond Green? These are the people that LeBron James goes back and forth with. No real tough guys, no real enforcers in the league, which once again expose LeBron James as being a fake tough guy, a true bully. He loves to pick on people that are smaller than him. That's what he does his chase down blocks on, the smaller players. And then he flexes on them, which is comical. So all the things you guys are talking about speak to LeBron James. Like you said, it was a show for the cameras, for all the people to go at Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. Smith's the kind of guy that's been, celebrating LeBron James as a great husband and father. So he's actually been giving LeBron James a lot of props for being a great father when we know it's the complete opposite. But it looks like for me, as a father on the outside looking in, is LeBron James fighting his son's battles at 20 years old, which you shouldn't be doing at that age. You should be letting your son handle his own business. If people are talking about him in the media, then oh well. Once again, like you guys said, all this stuff going with Bronny James is because of the legacy that his father has left for him. Everyone doesn't like Bronny James. Why? Because they felt like he was given things the same way LeBron James was given things.
Yeah, and all the Dr. Umars that are in the comment section talking about why y'all down in the black men. Why did LeBron James come at a black man over his opinion? When there's been
Michael
white
Jordan
analysts
black?
Zay, what about all the other black men in the NBA?
Same shit about Bronny. He ain't say nothing about Mad Dog. You know what I'm saying? He ain't say nothing about none of these other guys that got up here and said shit about Bronny, but you want to come at Stephen A. because you know he's handicapped by him working at ESPN. He is the new $100 million man at ESPN, and man, he's about to be working.
Let me understand. Let me understand this to those black people, you people. When you say that, are you saying that you don't want black men to have a standard? You don't want black men to hold other people, themselves or other people to a standard? Like, no race. Stop bringing race into it. Nobody should accept that sort of behavior, period. Oh, you're hating on a black man. Oh, okay. Well, just let people behave any fucking way that they want to. No, that doesn't make people better.
We got to police ourselves. We can't allow others to police us. You know what I'm saying? Come on, knock it off.
Yep. No, you're right, AOH. I don't subscribe to the black and white stuff. I don't subscribe to the slow and athletic white guys that Michael Jordan was playing against in the 80s and the 90s. I don't subscribe to racial things when we talk about sports. Because once again, sports is supposed to be a unifier. And I always tell people, I played basketball in the streets against all kinds of different races, religions, people who looked different, people who were skinny, people who were heavy set, people who were really tall, people who were really short, people who couldn't run that well, people who were really fast, people who couldn't really jump, but people who could really jump high. And I tell you guys right now, if you underestimate your opponent, once again, you're making a grave mistake. If you think that you're better than somebody because you look different, or you can beat somebody in a fight because they look a certain way, they dress a certain way, you're going to be in for a rude awakening, my friends, man. Do not judge people based off of their skin color or what they look like. And that's not what we're doing here. So like my man Zay said, we're holding everyone across the board to the same standard, man. So once again, I always tell people, I don't respect LeBron James. And it got nothing to do with hate or liking him. I don't respect him. So we talk about a black man. I don't respect that black man. Remember, that same black guy was fake reading a Malcolm X book, you clowns. So what disrespect is he showing to Malcolm X, a legit black person who stood up for all the other minorities out there? LeBron James didn't have enough respect for that man to read his book legit.
How do you not even prepare for that? I know I brought that up before, but how do you not expect to be able to answer one fucking question?
Do you know who asked him that question? It was Malika Andrews who asked him that question. So
it wasn't a hard question. It wasn't a hard question.
You saw him sweating his hair out, though.
God damn it.
LeBron, I thought LeBron was going to get Malcolm's name wrong for a second.
I know he's. Malcolm X is a great man. He's black and he had curly hair. His last name was X. I know all about him.
He's smart. He's smart. Very smart man.
A smart guy. And you guys remember that scene with Isaiah Stewart from a couple of years ago when LeBron James was acting like Popke from Necessary Roughness and he was running around the officials telling him to blow the whistle. He was running away. He wasn't tough then.
I tell you what, LeBron James is a massive human being. I would never pick him in a fight. You want to talk about don't judge by the way someone looks. I would never pick LeBron James. I would choose myself over LeBron James.
I would choose somebody paralyzed as long as they could talk and hurt his feelings. As long as they could speak to him and get under his skin, I would choose somebody that can't walk or run or move.
You brought up Dylan Brooks. He didn't actually really do much to Dylan Brooks. He needed Anthony Davis to block Dylan Brooks's shot. And then LeBron James came over and yelled at Dylan Brooks, LeBron, you didn't do anything. You're getting protected as usual. You can't even handle Dylan Brooks.
Exactly. And that's what I'm talking about. Remember Shannon Sharp was on the sidelines standing up for LeBron James, arguing with those guys until Steven Adams walked over? Then Shannon Sharp wanted no smoke with Steven Adams. None of those guys wanted any smoke, but they were running their mouths. I tell people all the time, LeBron James has feminine supporters, man. They're soft feminine fools like Shannon Sharp. Michael Jordan had Ahmad Rashad. He had a legit man backing him up. But I never saw Ahmad Rashad out there arguing on the court, making a fool of himself because he was a classy individual. LeBron James has no class, so therefore the people who follow him and surround themselves with, they have no class.
I'm going to read from King Speech Row. He's a regular. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your support. Any black person talking, what is that?
Hotep. So we'll talk to you afterwards. We'll tell you about it afterwards.
Okay. With LeBron.
That's a clip right there.
It ain't
black,
about race.
He said Hotep.
I should let someone else read it.
I'm blackity black. I'm black.
I'm too light. One of y'all gotta do it.
Next.
They gotta cut.
Let's go around the circle here.
They got
do it by range of color. So you go first, and then I'll go next.
No, but you know what though? King Speech Row makes a great point in that comment when he brings up the word elitists. When you think about LeBron James, and a lot of times we talk about these guys, and when people talk about the color of his skin, you hear LeBron James say, "Oh, I'm just a kid from Akron. I can't believe it. I'm a kid from Akron." He seems to have forgot where he came from. A lot of these guys forgot where they came from. So they got the money, and all of a sudden now they're elitists. They look down and talk down to the common folk. Once again, that's part of the reason why we do not respect these guys.
But Robin, real quick, the low hanging fruit, and we keep bringing that up because it's true. The low hanging fruit of that is he's building the victim mentality into it every time he says it. Every time he says, "I'm just a kid from Akron." All right, cool. That was 39 years ago. That doesn't play anymore. Or 40 years ago. Sorry, that doesn't play anymore. It's not. It's like saying I used to be in shape. All right, cool. What am I right now? Not in shape. It just plays into the whole his story BS. And nobody, they all say it. Him, Rich Paul, his whole crew, they consistently repeat that phrase.
So Hotep is an ancient Egyptian word that can refer to a state of peace.
I can't believe you looked this shit up in front of everybody.
I'm gonna guess that
you should have waited until we were done. Oh boy. So wait till Lamont and them boys see that.
Oh,
I beg your pardon.
With this. Are you kidding me? Come on. But the point is, if you can't take criticism, then there's a problem. And here now we live in an age where whether it's political journalists or whether it's sports journalists, you aren't even allowed to ask questions anymore. And you have the softest people ever in these positions of influence. And all that LeBron James can do after having his D sucked his entire career is still complain on camera. Do you know what was being said the day that LeBron James was saying that all you guys do is shit on us? Was different excuses to mention him in the GOAT debate.
Exactly. When he was just shitting on the NBA saying that we take too many fucking threes, and then he goes out there and shoot 11 threes.
Yep.
Like, come on. You can't be that big of a hypocrite and then get on television and act like we gonna forget what you said. LaFody James, you can't take criticism. Everybody gets criticized, no matter what profession you're in. You work at fucking McDonald's. Somebody is criticizing your work.
Yep.
Why are you above criticism?
That's how you improve. That's the whole point.
Yep.
Come on.
Exactly. If my dad hadn't put me in my place when I tried to get away with bullshit, I'd be an even worse person today than I am right now.
Well, what's even worse than that is there's nobody in the media making him double back and comments on this stuff. Ever since that whole tweet about keep that same energy about our personnel, that's the last time anybody went back and said, hey, you need to, address this. You said this. But now he says whatever, doesn't do it, or does the complete 180, and then just life moves on.
I mean, when you guys remember LeBron James after the 2011 finals and he told us to go back to our boring lives, you think he was just talking to white people? He was talking to everyone. That's an elitist statement. He was talking to you black people out there, too, all you clowns out there that think LeBron James some high, mighty black person. Once again, he's not better than my dad was. Once again, LeBron James has done so many things to embarrass the black people out there, not to uplift us, to embarrass us. Remember, LeBron James was the one that was, remember LeBron James said he quoted Dr. Martin Luther King about injustice somewhere is a threat to injustice everywhere, but then he won't speak up for the people in China? You won't speak for the people in China, though.
Yeah, you got 14-year-old girls making them shoes, man. And they still ain't selling. Them shoes are still
just to end up in Burlington Coat Factory.
They go on clearance.
I know so, LeBron.
Hey, Sabrina is selling more shoes than LeBron.
The Sabrina Carpenters, they're amazing.
His shoes aren't even in the top 5 of minutes played in the NBA. Knock it off.
I mean, listen, guys, do we also remember? Let's not, once again, like you said, Zay, we don't forget this. I got a very good memory, man. The LeBron James fans have a very short memory. They don't like to remember things. But remember, didn't LeBron James vandalize his home to make it seem like he was getting racially attacked out there in L.A.? We still have no proof of this vandalism. Where is it? There's
no police report either. No police report, no proof.
So nothing. LeBron fans aren't going to believe me. Younger generations aren't going to believe me. When Michael Jordan was rising, the media was trying to keep him down. The media's job was to be critical and say, hey, yeah, sure, he's gifted, but he doesn't have this and he doesn't have that. We'll see. We'll see if you've got it. I mean, he had to fight through media criticism. It wasn't a protection thing. He wasn't protected by the media. And when the media was gross enough to mention that he might have had something to do with his dad dying, he just went silent on them. And when they accused his poor shooting night on spending time with his dad, legally unwinding at Atlantic City. He said, well, fuck you then. I'm not gonna acknowledge you. And then he came out. What did he do? He came out and burnt the Knicks. Now, LeBron James could make a great big speech, do a bunch of Twitter shit, and then go out and blow the game. And he'll still be protected. He'll tell the world that he's the greatest, that he's the son, that he's the chosen one, and then blow the game, and will still face no repercussions in today's current media. It's disgusting. What LeBron James is doing to the refs on a nightly basis, now joined by Luka, is assault. What he did to Stephen A. Smith was embarrassing. It's bad behavior. It's not what we should be seeing someone do on TV, and the media should be crucifying him so that people don't grow up thinking that that's how you should behave as a man or a human being.
AOH, could you imagine if the roles were reversed? That was Stephen A. walking up to LeBron. You'd be reading about it. You'd be seeing that shit on CNN today. LeBron talking about how hurt he is that another black man approached him like that. That's intimidation, which last I checked is not a felony, but you could press charges if you really wanted to.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, Bandana Dan made a great comment here, made a great point.
Read it.
When they said he watched the game and he talked about how LeBron James allowed to intimidate the referees. And I just did a video the other day, and I said LeBron James should be leading the league in technical fouls this year and all the other years. This man's never on the verge of being suspended for getting too many technical fouls. Meanwhile, Anthony Edwards has like 17 technical fouls this season. Trae Young has 11 technical fouls on the season. Trae Young, 6 foot nothing, 100 pound nothing, Trae Young. He's so intimidating and so crazy out there. He has 11 technical fouls. It's insane. LeBron James has 1 technical foul this season, guys. 1.
I can point out 5 occasions per night that LeBron James should get a technical. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Anthony Edwards shouldn't get a technical. We want consistency. What is it that we never ever get with LeBron James? Consistency.
Yep.
LeBron James is worse than Anthony Edwards. Worse than Anthony Edwards. And not getting called for technicals. Call all of them for technicals. And and Luka is mind-boggling. I don't know. I know that he was known for complaining when he was in Dallas. Was it like this? Because he's crazy. He's fucking crazy terrible with the refs. And you know how you stop? Not only do they take the abuse of him attacking the refs afterward, and the refs don't tee him up, you go back and look at what he's mad about. He was flopping, and the refs didn't call the flop either. You know how you stop this behavior? Spank them for their behavior. Call the fucking flop. And then you don't even have to get to the next technical that you still didn't call.
I thought they used to fine guys for that stuff. They don't find them no more.
No, they said they were going to, and it never fucking happened.
But even then, it's $5,000. What is that to anybody?
Yeah, no, the technical is more important than the fine. The actual technical is more important than the fine. These guys are too rich.
There were four finable flops in the last 2 minutes of that game last night. 2 by one by Luka and 3 by LeBron.
Yeah, see, and wait, the point that you just made about Anthony Edwards, we're not saying that he shouldn't have that many technical fouls. We're saying that if he has that many, how does LeBron James only have 1? That's what we're saying. We need some level of consistency because, like you guys mentioned, LeBron James can yell at guys. He could remember you had that video, AOH, of LeBron James trying to intimidate the referee by almost walking into him, forcing the referee to kind of move to the side to now bump into LeBron James. This is what he does. Another thing that we have to also remember that exposes LeBron James even further. LeBron James carries on, cries for fouls, flops out there, flails. He goes to the bench and complains. He was complaining a game last year. I remember when he was in street clothes. He was still complaining to the referee in street clothes. But the crazy thing about all these things that LeBron James is doing out in the court, once again, it never impacts the Lakers in a negative way. So he's allowed to do all these things. And the flip side is, the Lakers get the calls. What are you complaining about? You're number 1 all the time on one of the top teams in free throws attempted, fouls called in your favor. What the hell are you complaining about?
I want to know if
go Zay. Yeah, sorry.
I want to know if Luka's been drug tested this season yet, because I've never seen, like, I've seen Luka complain to the refs, but I've never seen him complain like how he was complaining last night, screaming, turning red. Man, that was unbelievable to see, because I think he might be in that LeBron James workout program, if you know what I'm talking about. I can't say that because, Luka there's no allegations, but that's something to look at, man, because Luka has lost a lot of weight too very fast. I don't know if it's Ozempic or what it is, but something's going on right there because they're too angry. They're literally too angry. I've never seen players this angry over calls that they shouldn't get. You shouldn't get them in the first place.
Zay, real quick, remember we talked about when the Mavericks, quote unquote, listed Luka at 270, which nobody believes. The second he got to LA and looked skinny, the narrative became, well, he got in shape because of LeBron's work ethic. But people aren't bright enough to pick up on that. He wasn't that heavy to begin with. This is all optics. It's all narrative, and it's manipulated to make it look like there's a change. You had the same guys talking about, well, he'll drop that weight. He'll work out with LeBron, blah, blah, blah. Just like you said, the weight wasn't there to begin with. But like you said, AOH, the memory is so short that people don't even think back to that.
Well, there's an alternative to it being the drugs. It's also, have you guys ever seen a spoiled child who never gets spanked not become even worse? When you show them that they can get away with shit, then they try to get away with even more. Now he's in LA. He's under the LeBron James protection. We have two LeBrons on the floor at the same time that we have to watch. ESPN has the nerve to call this must-watch TV. It's unwatchable TV. Even if it was, it might as well just be one of those old disgusting 90s talk shows. It's so gross. And this is what we're seeing. But let me take the Luka being in shape thing a little bit further. Let's say that he did get in shape magically, which is pretty disgusting. The Mavericks may have been right about him if he was, because he's injured with the Mavericks. Now he's great with the Lakers. But you don't turn into a great defender just because you get in shape. It'll help.
No.
Yeah, you'll have more energy to be a good defender if you're in shape, but you don't become a great defender. And I'm watching Jalen Brunson last night, not being able to get past Luka in some cases. Part of this was because they were allowing Luka to foul.
Oh, yeah.
But I started questioning Jalen Brunson. And from the TNT OT angle, he looked really questionable. And then I went and I looked at the box score, and I was like, well, shit, he's leading the team. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks. And then you messaged me, Speam, that you thought OG Anunoby was who was throwing it. All I know is that Karl Anthony Towns let LeBron James go right by him. He let Dalton Connect dunk on him. He couldn't get a fucking rebound. How many times did the Lakers get 5 fucking attempts at a shot?
Because of God spoke to me this morning. He was like, hey, man, you got to talk about Karl Anthony Towns. This fucking 7-foot bum. My God, I don't care. Hey, I used to live in Minnesota, so I've seen this personally. Cat is a fucking bitch. I keep trying to tell y'all. They be so thirsty and hyped up. He's 7 foot. He scored 70. Anybody can score 70 points right now. Anybody can drop 40. Quentin Grimes just dropped 45 after he got traded from the Mavs. Knock it off. Karl Anthony Towns is too big to be going 3 of 13.
Karl Anthony Towns made Jackson Hayes look like a beast.
Jackson Hayes looked like a monster out there.
Yeah, you got Jackson Hayes looking like AD. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Jackson Hayes looked like he was having fun and not confused how he usually looks. He looked like he was part of the system. He hit 2 clutch free throws last night that nobody talked about.
Bandana Dan, I'm going to ask people, we're going to have to vote who was worse, if LeBron's beration of the refs or Luka's beration of the refs was worse. They actually are competing with each other.
Then you add Austin Reeves to that mix. God damn.
I was just about to say, yup.
He got a you got the triangle offense right there. Come on.
I'm gonna say it again. The first thing I said when Luka got traded and everyone was like, oh, they're not gonna have any defense. I was like, they're not gonna need any. They're gonna live the entire game at the foul line. The other team's gonna foul out and the entire game's gonna be free throws. Last night, I felt sometimes the TNT overtime camera doesn't follow the game properly, but you can see that the game's not going. And guess what? Guess what it was? It was the Lakers shooting free throws. Constant stoppage. Lakers shooting free throws. Lakers shooting free throws. Lakers shooting free throws.
AOH, what's interesting about that is, you know how on ESPN everybody's saying Lakers are number 2, blah blah blah. They're not saying they're number 2, but the number of games between all teams is like what, like a game and a half, 2 games, so it could change every day. They're basically all the same. They're also not talking about that free throw discrepancy as being part of their success, which it is. They're not even bringing it up to say, well, they're playing more in the paint or they're driving more and getting to the line more. They're not bringing it up at all because they know how relevant it is. When you have a differential like they do, it was like 1,100 something last time I looked. That's the difference between games. It's not like they're blowing teams out. So it just goes to show how they hide information to continue to push what they want.
Speem, you made a great point here, Speem. When you're talking about fool's gold, this is what you're talking about. This is what you're alluding to, that the Lakers' record of 40 wins and I think 21 losses now they are, is really not as great as it looks on paper. And I've talked about the on-paper resume of LeBron James and the teams on paper. They might be impressive. And remember, the Lakers are the only team in the NBA currently that have 2 top 10 players on their roster. According to ESPN, they're the only team with Luka Doncic and LeBron James. So the fact that they're winning games, are we supposed to be impressed with this? But I want everyone to think about something. I wrote this down. I did a video earlier talking about the Los Angeles Lakers record is fraudulent. Most of their wins have come from the bottom of the league, guys. So the Lakers are 2-0 against the Washington Wizards. They're 3-1 against the Utah Jazz. They're 2-0 against the Toronto Raptors. They're 4-0 against the Sacramento Kings. They're 2-0 against the New Orleans Pelicans. They're 3-1 against the LA Clippers. They're 3-0 against the Golden State Warriors before the Jimmy Butler trade, which the Warriors seem to be playing a lot better since that trade. So if you look at their record versus the quality teams, though, this is where they get exposed. So for those kinds of teams, they're 17-2 versus the bottom teams. But if we expand that to the Charlotte Hornets and the San Antonio Spurs, then all of a sudden they have about 23 or 24 wins to about 3 losses. But if you look at their record versus the quality teams, they're 0-2 versus Cleveland, 0-1 versus OKC, they're 1-1 versus Denver, 2-1 versus Memphis, 0-1 versus Houston, 1-1 versus Dallas, 0-2 versus Detroit. They have never even played the Milwaukee Bucks this season, guys. Not even one time against the Milwaukee Bucks yet. They're 2-0 against the Knicks, 1-2 against Phoenix, 0-1 against Orlando, 1-1 against Atlanta, and 2-2 against Minnesota. For a combined record of 10-13 against the quality teams. Not impressive.
And some of those teams were hurt. Some of those, how many times they run into a team where the player gets hurt during the game? OG Anunoby got hurt in the first game versus the Knicks. Now Jalen Brunson get hurt in OT against the Lakers when they had no answer. They had no answer for Jalen Brunson.
I noticed that ESPN said, "Oh, look, the Lakers have such and such tough schedule in front of them." They didn't bother mentioning how the beginning of the season was. Absurdly easy at the beginning of the season. It's like, of course, you have a little bit of a tough stretch because they haven't played a fucking single person so far. You've got to play these people at some point. Or maybe you don't. I don't know. I mean, the Lakers don't even leave LA to play, it seems like. But I also thought,
I never thought about that.
Doesn't that work out in the Lakers' favor to play the better teams near the end when people are beaten up and people are hurt? Hey, save the tough guys for the end when they aren't even going to have their players.
And the tough guys that you do play in the beginning, we're going to make sure they're coming off of back-to-back.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
What's even crazier is they've managed to make LA look like underdogs with Luka and LeBron on the same team and AD before that.
Fact,
I've never seen anything like it. You have the GOAT. All right, cool. Then how can you ever be the underdog when you have probably the best offensive player in the league right now and basically the MVP? How can you ever call this team an underdog except, oh, wait, maybe he's not that good. Maybe they're trash and you're trying to convince people that he's good. It's in this idea that OKC is this titan of a team. Everybody knows in their heart of hearts that if the Lakers get them in a 7-game series, they're not going to lose. The league will not allow that to happen. the league will not allow OKC to surpass the Lakers in anything. So they're building it up like OKC is this powerhouse. Everyone knows Denver's really the only shot. And they seem to not really care about that because they're more about just winning.
Well, I tell you one thing scary about the Lakers having a better schedule is the home games and the reffing that they get in the home games. As bad as it is in the away games, it's even worse at home. So, OKC is playing great. What are they going to do when the other team's allowed to beat the shit out of them? And the refs don't do anything about it. Are they? Right. Do they have? They're still a young team. Do they have what it takes inside of them to mentally push through the refs trying to help the Lakers win?
You think they're not going to break SGA's shoulder, leg, ribs every time he tries to go in the paint?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know if the Thunder got it in them yet, man, because, these young guys are more affected emotionally by not getting calls. So I think that's going to pay into them not being able to get over the hump potentially against the Lakers. That's what teams have to realize. Like, hey, if the whistle isn't blown, get back, sprint back. Don't allow LeBron to cherry pick. Don't allow Luka to cherry pick, because that's the game. Those 6 to 8 points, 10 points that you give up on the other end by not getting back on defense is the difference in the game, on top of the free throws, on top of the missed calls. You know what I mean? So,
I tagged you guys in the short I did showing Karl Anthony Towns literally stepping out of LeBron's way. I mean, LeBron just dribbled from half court straight to the rim. He didn't have to do a damn thing except dribble straight to the rim. And someone in the comments said, well, they're going to call a foul, so he has to just get out of the way. Well, that's not what basketball is.
That's not, no.
And do you want to win?
Either.
But do you want to win?
7 feet tall.
Here's the thing. I agree. They are going to call the foul. So make LeBron pay for going in there, you fucking bitch. LeBron doesn't want the contact. Stop giving him a freebie when he's going to complain afterward anyway. And even if you do get out of the way, you might get called for a foul. Fucking put a body on his ass.
Like you guys said, man, the reason why Karl Anthony Towns will get fouls called against him is because Karl Anthony Towns don't know how to play defense. He can't move his feet.
I have a question.
You mentioned how soft Karl Anthony Towns is. Remember when Jimmy Butler was there? He called Karl Anthony Towns out in Minnesota. He said, dude, you're soft. That's Jimmy Butler saying he's soft. Where are we at now with Jimmy Butler? He looks pretty weird to me, man, but he's calling out Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns, I told people, when they traded for him, they traded Julius Randle away. It was a lose-lose situation. No one won that trade. No one got any better. Karl Anthony Towns is one of those guys where he'll put up 50 points one night and the night score 10. He's very inconsistent, and he's never been an intimidator, a shot blocker, an enforcer, a defender, none of these things, a leader, none of this stuff.
All he do is sit in the corner and shoot.
You're going. I just have a question. How do you win by getting out of the way of the other team? I understand the problem with getting called for a foul. How the fuck are you going to win if you get out of the way? You can't win that way.
Winning isn't factored into his mindset. That's obvious. I mean, he's 7 feet tall, shooting half-court three-pointers. He's not worried about winning.
I mean, you know what's crazy, guys, is that, over the last several months, over the last several years, a lot of the true basketball fans have been upset. They say they can't really watch the game anymore. You don't really enjoy the game like that. Back in the day, you could just turn the TV. It didn't matter who was playing, and you would enjoy the game. Now you don't get that. And the sad reality is that, for someone like me personally, I would love to see OKC versus Cleveland in the NBA Finals. I would love to see that, man. Once again, you have two teams with a lot of guys on the roster that have never won a championship, man. I would love to see these young guys get in the finals and do something. And to me, that would actually help the NBA's popularity. We don't want to see Lakers versus Boston. We don't want to see that stuff. We want to see some guys that never won. We want to see some of the new teams, some of the up-and-coming guys. That's what we want to see. That would actually help the game. They should be promoting those teams. They should be promoting those players. But instead, they're trying to fix it so that we get LeBron James in the finals again when nobody wants to see him go to the finals and lose again. I do not think the Lakers could beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. I do not believe they could beat a Boston Celtics team. I do not believe that they can beat those teams in 7-game series. I do not believe they could beat the OKC Thunder in a 7-game series. I don't believe they could beat the Denver Nuggets in a 7-game series. I don't even know if they could beat the Houston Rockets in a 7-game series, guys. Because once again, when we talk about some of these other teams, we talk about the effort that they give. They're on both sides of the ball. They got young talent. So once again, if they're rigging the championship for LeBron James and Lakers, if the other teams are not in on it, then it's not rigged.
Well, thank you for mentioning the Houston Rockets. I started making a video that I never finished explaining why I can't take any teams seriously. It was like, who am I supposed to get excited about? The Houston Rockets were at number 2 for a while, and I went and I was looking at the recent games and all the blowouts. I mean, 30 points here, 30 points backwards the other way. And the Rockets got blown out a couple of times by teams that they should have beaten badly. And I'm like, what am I supposed to think? The number 2 team in the West is getting blown out by bottom feeders. Like, what do you do with that information?
Can I ask a quick question? Because I'm not sure the answer. Flops during the game, are they reviewable? And there's a reason I'm asking.
Well, it should be. They're against the rule. They are actually against the rules. It became such a problem. It became such a problem during the LeBron James era that they actually made an announcement that they were going to start cracking down on it. They're not. They don't. So and they also don't. They don't crack down on foul baiting or jumping into the shooter. All these things they were supposed to improve on.
Going back to Cat being soft, the fact that LeBron flopped on that foul call, like I think with like a minute left, he threw himself out of bounds on.
Oh my God!
Right. The fact that Cat didn't openly protest that and say like, yo, like do anything, just like show some kind of emotion that obviously this man threw himself on the ground like a toddler in Walmart and nobody said anything. Like nobody said a word. They just allowed it to happen. That is soft. Same thing with Luka in the first half. He brushes under he brushes under Buddy's arm and then snatches his head back. Like he just got DDT'd. It was.
Thank you. I have this in my notes. I noticed that while the Lakers were in the refs' faces all night. And then I started saying, wait a minute, I'm not seeing the Knicks do this. And even when the Knicks were getting hosed, like the most I'd see was like, I'm like, why? And I'm not trying to condone that behavior, but isn't it interesting that the Knicks weren't engaging in the same behavior? Because I was mind blown by the patience of the refs. I don't understand why refs have to put their heads down and walk away while they're being abused by the players. They really do. They're just getting chewed out and physically intimidated by LeBron and Luka.
How do you go home to your wife if you get chewed out like that in front of the world? I just don't get it.
But the Knicks don't do it. And the previous team didn't do it. Like I'm so backlogged trying to keep up with the visual. Robin, you'll appreciate this. I'm working on the visual evidence to show how stupid what Kendrick Perkins said was. Like it's obvious. It's obvious that it's stupid, but it's not just stupid. I have visual evidence that it's the exact fucking opposite. And I was breaking down that game, and then here comes the Knicks game. I'm like, getting it done at both ends, and I can insert that soundbite over and over and over of LeBron James not getting it done. But then I thought in the Knicks game, maybe I could just make a whole new video showing him getting it done at both ends, meaning that he's harassing the refs at both ends. Because on the TNT Overtime app, you don't go and look at these other things that distract you. The camera's still rolling. LeBron James does not take a fucking break from berating the refs and complaining.
Yep.
He doesn't fucking stop, and all they do is take it. I don't know how. I don't think the refs could possibly be getting paid enough to take that abuse. It's incredible.
Yeah, I can't believe that Kendrick Perkins jumped off the cliff like that and really said that LeBron James is playing both sides at a high level. He said at a high level he's playing both sides of the ball. That's laughable at best,
you guys,
man.
Hold on. I've got an impression for you. This is me shutting down anyone on an ESPN panel. Give me an example. That's all you have to do to any of them. Give me an example.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
They blurt out nonsensical shit and get all emotional about it, and everyone just allows it to continue. All you have to do is say, give me an example.
Yep.
No one
There's
does
nobody
that.
on the panel to push back. That's
Not
how
on
bad
anything.
it is. There's nobody on except for Wiles. Sometimes Wiles will be like, I'm sick of talking about this stuff. Like, can we please talk about something else? But even on Inside the NBA, I can't. Kenny, like he needs to go because Chuck gets in his bag about how he really wants to talk about the Lakers. And then you got the fence man, Kenny the Jet, just sitting there kind of downplaying it because, it's just Chuck being goofy. And then you have Shaq over here making whatever Chuck said sound dumber. So it just removes all credibility from the one person who's like actively trying to fight this because nobody has his back on his own network.
Nobody has his back. And let's talk about this. ESPN is so down bad that they have turned to Gilbert Arenas and Kai Cenat, man.
Kai Cenat, I saw that.
That's true.
Oh,
what the fuck is Kai Cenat doing on First Take, man? What does Kai Cenat know about basketball?
Just bring Joe Budden back for all that.
The greatest player of all time is Barbosa.
And I'm thankful that we get at least glimpses of the truth from Chuck, but Chuck said it himself. We're going to go be fools on that fool network next year. He said it.
Yeah.
Well, why, Chuck? You don't need more money, do you? Why don't you have some decency and not go join ESPN? I don't want to see you behave like an ESPN person. Wait, is he going to have the balls on ESPN?
No, they're going to neuter him.
He can barely talk on TNT. Point. He doesn't, as you guys said, his own panel doesn't even have his back on TNT. What's it going to be like on ESPN? He doesn't want to go home that bad. He's like LeBron James. He doesn't want to go home to his family. I'm sorry. What?
Go ahead. My bad.
we were all talking at once there.
Well, I think it's dumb that anyone thinks any of these people want to go home to their families. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that sounds mean, but the bullshit. And let me call out everyone in America. Most of you husbands can't wait to go to your man cave or pretend to come home late for work for one reason or another, even if you are a good father. Don't pretend that basketball players with 18 baby mamas are family people that can't wait to get home to their fucking families. Don't pretend that Charles Barkley can't wait to get home to his family either.
You know,
or Anthony Edwards.
Speaking of marketing, back in the 90s, 2000s, you didn't hear about all these babies' mom stuffs, right? Like you just heard about relationships, and at no point did you ever hear X player just wants to go back to his family. They just did it because that's what you do after your job. You go home to your family. It doesn't need to be mentioned that you're going home to your family. That's common fucking sense.
You would make back then. It seemed like they hated their families the way they were preparing for the game. You know what I'm saying? A different level of preparation for the game. But go ahead.
Anyway, when you talk about ESPN analysts or the quote-unquote analysts of ESPN and some of these major networks, and you say something like, show me some evidence. Give me some evidence to support the statement that you just made. And we always talk about how they never can give you any evidence to support these things. It's like Stephen A. Smith. He's been saying that LeBron James is a great husband and father for years, but he can't give you any evidence to support these statements. He just says them out loud, and because he said them out loud, they're true. When Kendrick Perkins and some of these other people talk about LeBron James being an MVP candidate right now, let's be very clear here and remember the beginning of the season. The first 2-3 months of the season when Anthony Davis was on the Lakers, Anthony Davis was top 5 in scoring, he was top 5 in rebounds, he was top 5 in blocked shots, guys. All those categories he was top 5 in. He was top 5 in PER. On the Lakers. But you're going to try to say that LeBron James was carrying the Lakers? You're going to try to sit there and tell me that LeBron James isn't playing defense at a high level? No, he was resting on defense the whole first quarter of the season, the first half of the season with Anthony Davis there. The man was literally carrying LeBron James on the defensive end, night in and night out. And now they want to try to talk to you about LeBron James being an MVP candidate? That's insane.
Yes, exactly. So Luka joins the team. Things improve and LeBron gets to go into the MVP conversation. How does that feel, Luka? Welcome to the LeBron world. But just putting LeBron in the MVP conversation is absurd, but ESPN said it. And that's all it takes for the mindless LeBron fans to start repeating it. And that's as infuriating as LeBron James and ESPN itself. God damn it, people. Be better.
AOH,
fucking think. Hold on. Just let me finish.
Go ahead. Okay, yeah.
Because I did a video the other day that proved this, where they posted that people come back from energies and get up to play against the Lakers. And you should have seen the comments. Oh, wow, that's true. That's so true. And I went, and not many people watch this video, and that's why I have to plug it right here. I went and I watched.
Let me finish.
Nobody came back. They played depleted teams out of 7 fucking games with Luka playing with the Lakers. One person, Norman Powell, came back for 8 minutes in one game. That's as close as you can come to pretending that people get up and return from injuries to play against the Lakers. It was a blatant lie that was posted for, I don't even know why ESPN would post that. But you know what happened? All the fucking dipshits out there started typing in the comments. Does not matter if it's true or not.
Yep.
Wow, oh my God, that's so true. Everybody wants to get up against the Lakers. The Lakers have been playing depleted teams all fucking year. What the fuck's wrong with you people? Does reality mean absolutely nothing to you? Why is it so important for you to hold on to this lie that you don't even look into it before you start repeating it? What the fuck's wrong with you? Okay, I'm done.
It's sad, man. You know, there was a graphic that came up when Luka went to the bench. The Lakers were -9 with Luka on the bench. Luka is literally carrying the Lakers, man. We gotta stop the LeBron is carrying the Lakers. LeBron is in no way carrying the Lakers, man. It really pisses me off because all I see him do is slow dance, hug, and grab. That's all I see him do. It really
he shrugs.
pisses me
He
off.
does shrug. Shrugs his shoulders.
Yeah, that's all he does. To say this is the greatest of all time. We're talking about the greatest. To say that this is the greatest of all time is so disrespectful to Michael Jordan.
Some LeBroner said, y'all said LeBron and Luka wouldn't work. You didn't hear me say that. I said the cheating was going to be next level.
Yeah.
No, what we were talking about was how Luka Doncic had to make the adjustments to be successful. The burden was on Luka Doncic. That's what we said. And once again, the proof was there. The first 3 games that they played together, Luka Doncic didn't even crack 20 points. The first time in his career that he went 3 consecutive games not cracking 20 points, playing alongside LeBron James. So it seems to me that Luka Doncic has made some adjustments to play alongside LeBron James. Not the other way around here, you clowns. So once again, we never said it wasn't going to work. What we said was that Luka Doncic is going through an adjustment period. But I got to get ready to go, but I want to say this before I go, guys. Whenever we think about the Lakers and people are worried about the Lakers, having the NBA, fix the games and, the Lakers are getting help from the referees. Let's be honest, guys. The Lakers have been getting help. LeBron James has been getting help from the referees for years now, guys. But why doesn't it never amount to anything? Because at the end of the day, guys, LeBron James is a choker. He chokes. So even though he gets favorable calls, even though they end up, getting a little bit of help here and there, they never called it technical fouls against LeBron James. When the playoffs come, when it matters most, and he has to make a shot, he's got to make a play. He's going to be inconsistent at best. You guys remember last year, they were promoting LeBron James 41% three-point percentage last year. And they were like, oh, LeBron James, he molded his game. Now he's a three-point shooter now. LeBron James, he went out there and worked on his game. What happened against the Denver Nuggets last year? LeBron James had a wide open look at a three-point at the top of the key, but the score tied. And what did LeBron James do? He bricked it up. And what did the Denver Nuggets do on the other end? Jamal Murray came down and hit the game winner. That's how the Lakers lose, when LeBron James chokes it up. So, once again, like I always say, if the Lakers are going to win a championship, it's going to be because Luka Doncic leads them there, not LeBron James, guys. That's the facts, man. I got to go, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Ayo, wait, say, Speed.
Hey,
Robin, good to see you, sir.
Robin's going to be back Sunday. Someone in the chat said, keep the Sunday going. I'm hosting it this Sunday. Robin will be back. Speem will be back. Zay, I don't think it works for your schedule, but if it does,
I'll be there.
Oh, okay. And it's gonna
I'm not showing up if Robin just yells the whole time, though. I'm not going.
And Robin, I know you got to go, but shout out to you. In one of your rants, you said, "Do you people understand that if you miss 6 out of 10 3-pointers, you still get 40%? That's terrible.
That's right.
That's terrible." But they shoot so many now. Even when you miss 6 3-pointers, you can shoot 40%. If someone misses 6 out of 10 3-pointers on my team, I feel like my team's going to lose, Anyway, thank you for being here, Robin. I know you got to go. We'll see you Sunday.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Man, I really appreciate it. I love doing these with you guys, man, whenever I can get on here, man. I'll see you guys on Sunday, man. You guys be
All right,
good,
so
man.
be safe out there. Hey, real quick, do you guys want to know the definition of the word concede?
Concede?
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's to admit that something is true or valid after denying it or resisting it. So
Okay.
ESPN runs this story that Stephen A. Smith concedes argument about LeBron being the GOAT. At what point does this not just become irresponsible reporting? Because not only is he not conceding anything, because he never agreed to it to begin with, but you're actively now marketing LeBron as the GOAT of longevity because you know that anything else is off the table. It's the same reason LeBron gets mentioned with Steph Curry now when you talk about greats, because the league knows that you have to include Steph's name just to even keep it relevant. So ESPN at this point is flat out lying to people, and Stephen A's part of it, creating these sound bites. Excuse me, sorry for coughing in your ear. Creating these sound bites saying, he is the GOAT, ellipsis, of longevity. Get the fuck out of here. It's because that's all anybody's going to run with.
Yeah, I said this in my jogging rant last night that I put in the members section. I guess you're being clever by putting longevity at the end of it, but the bottom line is that you're finding ways to continue to talk about LeBron and the word GOAT at the same time. And as brainless as I just pointed out that the minions are, they'll just take whatever they wanted to hear out of that and start repeating it.
Exactly. I've never seen people in the world, my homeboy don't never use the word longevity. I've never heard some people say the word longevity until they heard it on ESPN. Never.
Bro, they never used that word with Doug Flutie. Not once.
Never.
Not once.
Or Tom Brady for like 40 years. No.
Right.
They only use longevity for LaFody James.
They're not going to say that for that matter.
I can't picture walking out and running into a LeBron fan and them changing it to saying LeBron James is the GOAT of longevity. They're just going to keep saying he's the GOAT, aren't they?
No, that's because they can't pronounce the word. That's why they just say GOAT.
It sucks, man. The NBA is in trouble when the 40-year-old dinosaur is your leader. This guy doesn't even respect the game that he's playing in. It'd be Michael Jordan loved the game. Kobe Bryant loved the game. The faces of the league loved the game. He doesn't even love the game. It doesn't make sense to me. Let's get into these comments, man. What are these guys saying?
I'm trying not to.
I'll go to my notes. Hey, just a reminder, on Sunday, it's a special show. Some of the stuff I've been editing this week, I'm going to reveal during the Sunday live, and the panel's going to respond to it. For any of you talking trash, as if I haven't spent the last 5 years providing undeniable evidence of everything that I claim about LeBron James, I'm working on his last 2 games, and you're not going to like what you see, but you won't look at it. So I guess you'll be safe in your delusional little world.
Can't we argue, like 10 years from now, let's say the Lakers win a chip this year, right? How can you not argue that it actually hurts LeBron's GOAT case because he did it with Luka? Like, well, how can you not deny that?
Luka was ranked number 2 going into the season. And we made jokes about how LeBron stacks his teams, saying, why don't you just go get Jokic? Why don't you just go get Luka? And things are weird enough that they just did it. Okay, we will. And we'll still say that LeBron's the GOAT.
Yeah,
how are you not ashamed of yourselves? Honestly, LeBron fans, how are you not ashamed of yourselves? You could put LeBron James on the court against a 5th grade team and be proud that he won the game. That's who you people are.
He'll dunk on those 10-year-olds. I know it. That's right at the camp.
He'll flop on the 10-year-olds.
Right. He'll get them. He'll get their parents kicked out the game. I've seen people start to go back and reinvestigate this trade. This whole Nico Harrison thing. And I'm going down this rabbit hole a little bit because I forgot about the Nike connection. Right. I forgot that Nico Harrison is the one who blew that Steph Curry deal. But he had been with Nike since 2002. So all of these parties. And the conspiracy theorist in me says all of these parties are connected, right? AD is a Nike guy. LeBron, Nike guy. Nico, Nike guy. it all circles back. Luka, Jordan, Nike guy. So you mean to tell me this man who used to be the vice president of North America operations for Nike wasn't smart enough to not get himself photoed with the Lakers, with Rob Pelinka having a conversation, or having his marketing team be stupid enough to edit Luka Doncic out of their marketing videos? A man that's responsible for a division like that, a multi-billion-dollar industry, isn't stupid enough to make a decision like that without being compromised in some way.
Exactly. There aren't any consequences. We're in a world where when someone shows what a piece of trash you are, all they do is turn around and show you how much money they have. So as long as he's getting compensated at the end of the day, and we live in a trash society that worships people like that, then what are the consequences?
Yep. And can you imagine being a Mavericks fan and you seeing Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic on different teams like that, just balling? Meanwhile, you're suffering because of Nico Harrison. Nico Harrison was in that coffee shop dressed like a GTA character, getting ready to trade the franchise away.
Right. It looked fake. Didn't it look like staged? Nobody dresses like that in real life.
Nobody.
Super chat from Justin Messenger. The only notable players who returned from injury against LA were Curry and Harden 3 years ago. And they missed like 5 games. Who are they talking about? They weren't talking about anybody, and that's the point of the conversation. They don't have to provide any proof. They just post something, and the minions run with it. And we get called haters for saying, "Wait a minute, maybe lying and you repeating lies isn't such a good thing to do." Oh, sorry, we interfered with your fucking fake world.
I was looking into the Balco stuff is coming up again. And my boy Clyde sent me this meme. It showed a picture of Randy Mims, because I guess I never seen him before. The meme said, "You mean to tell me this overweight dude was using PEDs for himself? He's supposed to be LeBron's manager, his everybody guy, but he wasn't getting it for LeBron." If you see a picture of Randy Mims, and obviously I'm not a doctor, I don't know anything about that, I don't think he was taking PEDs for himself. But again, that stuff never gets addressed.
They said he was like 330 pounds. What is he taking steroids for? Savannah was picking up the steroids. So what type of cooking is there in the world that you would need steroids?
Right.
Was she cooking for a family reunion or something, and she needed some extra energy to fry the chicken? Reunion. Like, come on, man. Knock it off, fanboys. Why would Savannah go and pick up steroids?
And again, it goes back to they didn't he ain't respond to Sonnen, but he'll walk up to Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah. Because Child Sonnen will knock his shit together, beat his ears together.
Yep.
He knows it. So he's only going to go up to people that are no threat. Stephen A. is not no threat.
Nope.
Stephen A. is supposed to be representing New York. I don't know nobody from New York that would allow LeBron to approach them like that.
Yeah.
For real.
New York should reject Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, man. You from Jersey now.
He'll have his unfiltered opinion on his show. He'll swear a bunch and say what he would have done if it was something. Oh, actually, he already did that. He said, "This is what I would have done if it was so and so and so and so." All right, man. Cool. What's the next?
I didn't get to that
topic?
Part.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about what you would have did, Stephen A.
Right.
Yeah. Welcome to the woulda, shoulda, coulda. Oh.
But
they asked about calling in AOH. In the
let's get some people. Let's get some people in here. Let's turn it up.
10:03. All right.
Also, did you guys notice you don't see a lot of motivational videos starring LeBron James? I just realized that the other night. Like, you see Jordan ones, you see Brady ones, you still see Lance Armstrong ones, but you don't see too many LeBron James motivational videos. That just occurred to me the other day. And that should tell you a lot.
Oh,
how the fuck would he motivate you?
You know
that's
who brought it?
Exactly.
Mace. And he basically said exactly that. It's like, LeBron isn't motivational, and that's why you aren't buying his shoes. Michael Jordan was motivational, and that's why you're still buying his shoes.
Man, you went to the mall and got the new Jordans that night. You might have got you some coochie, man.
They're still fighting over them J's.
They're gonna ignore this shit out you.
They're still fighting those flu games. Did you like the flu games released last week or the week before? There were lines around the block, people fighting over a sneaker that released in 1997, I think.
Like, come
I mean,
on,
what are we
man.
doing here?
Yeah, I don't know about all that either.
What? How can you be motivated off gripping and hugging? Like, how can you be motivated of stiff arming? Like, I could go. The NFL will motivate me for that. Come on. Yeah,
All right, you guys asked for it. Here's the call-in link.
yeah. Go ahead, bring them in here.
Yeah, and I the thing is, and because I've always preached this, is obviously a lot of what we say is opinion, sure. But again, that opinion's based on patterns of behavior over the course of 23 years. So at what point in history could we not make an assumption, because it is an assumption, based on 100% of what we've seen up until this point? You know what I mean?
You know, I was going to ask, the LeBron James of feet must be the worst foot doctor on the planet, because LeBron James is still dealing with that foot, dealing with the foot during All-Star break. But he was what shit team were they beating the crap out of? They had the lead. They had a 20-point lead going into the fourth the other night, and LeBron James stayed in and played another 8 minutes of the fourth period in a game where they ended up winning by like 30.
It wasn't Sacramento, was it?
Oh, I don't know. I was just editing it. I don't know why. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't watch the Lakers play ass teams like that. I can't lie to you.
Speech Row is calling in.
Nice.
Hey
guys, what's up?
What up?
Can you hear me good?
What up, sir?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
we hear
All
you
right.
loud and clear. Loud and clear.
All right. Yeah, first off, I want to apologize because my Knicks did not shut up this Laker noise. We had a chance. We had a chance to kill it, put the game away, and the free throws, the flopping wouldn't have mattered if we didn't make all them turnovers and miss all them open threes. But,
How about those rebounds or non-existent?
Oh, the rebounds. Oh, 4 in a row. No Mitchell Robinson in the game at the end. I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns has to be culpable for that, But yeah, man, this situation crazy, man. It's now I got to root for the Celtics to shut up this Laker noise. Hopefully on Sunday.
What happened to OG Anunoby, man? That second quarter, 5 of 5, 3 of 3 from 3. I'm like, man, OG Anunoby is the answer because he was out the first game. What happened to him in the third and fourth quarter in OT?
You see him miss that bunny, Zay?
Yeah.
With like 2 minutes left? Well, actually, with like a minute left, missed a bunny.
Like, I like that, and one layup he hit, but then he go up there and miss the free throw.
That's like, what I'm saying. AOH, that's when I reached out to AOH. I said, yo, he's paid for it.
Yeah, my bad about that. I don't know what happened. StreamYard kicked me out.
It happens.
Yeah. Yeah, Towns he looking a little look. I've never been a Towns man. I always know he's been soft, but he's skilled. And we gotta get some toughness next to him because it's been that way since college. I see him in Kentucky.
We gotta fix his connection, man.
Kicked him out. AOH, you're
right.
racist. He kicked him out.
No, I didn't. But we've got other people. We've got someone named Ash. Ash, you're on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yep.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Locked in. Go ahead.
No, I saw a post on X. First of all, I hate LeBron card on X because putting your name, like glorifying him so much, like he's your god. What the fuck is that? Constantly saying this, saying that, and the lightest criticism of him, like when he goes to Stephen A. Smith, I thought Stephen A. Smith said something egregious. No, Stephen A. Smith just said like Bronny about something about Bronny. And first of all, you brought him up. Nobody else. You brought him up. You on X yourself said Bronny's better than this. And then when Bronny doesn't excel in college, you brought him. You brought him up. Nobody brought him up. You brought him up. And then the win over the Knicks. They said Caleb Martin and Luka Doncic stat, but never mentioned LeBron's stat, especially in the clutch. They never mentioned it. They just mentioned, oh, LeBron did this, because they knew the king is fraudulent.
Man, the LeBron had a chance last night to hit his first game winner. And what happened? Brick City.
And Ash, you reminded me of the question I asked earlier in the show. Can someone give me a specific of what Stephen A said that was so terrible? And the second part of that is, how long ago? When is the last time Stephen A talked about Bronny? That LeBron still needed to use expletives and approach him.
Yeah, this is like almost
television.
It was almost 3 months ago.
Yeah, he's acting like they had an encounter the night before.
This was like 3 months ago, almost 2.5 months ago. This was against the 76ers when they went out there and they threw Bronny to the wolves against Tyrese Maxey, and Tyrese Maxey took it personal, as a real NBA player should. Bronny does not belong on the court with Tyrese Maxey, man.
Let's also remember that LeBron James is the one who in the 2016 finals made a big speech about there's just certain things you can't say. You can't use the B word. According to the laws of LeBron James, you can't say the B word. This guy is using expletives in people's faces nonstop. And this is the guy talking about you can't use certain words. I mean, the whole thing is just such a sham. Super chat from Bandana Dan. Just like LeBron wears the number of the man he'll never catch, his fans are always chasing their tail. The world doesn't buy the facade and never will. Thank you for the super chat.
Of course not. People are not going to buy this. All the fanboys that are in the comment section, call in. This is your time.
All right, here's someone named
time to shine.
Here's someone named
I need a fanboy on the line right now.
Here's someone named Greed.
You a fanboy?
Hell no.
That's the opening question from now on. That's how you open.
We looking for fanboys.
Hey, don't disrespect me like that. No,
Hey, I'm Elmer Fudd and I'm hunting fanboys. Where y'all at? Come on.
I used to respect LeBron James for a long time. I even respected him when everybody turned against him during the Heat, when he went to the Heat. But over time, man, I've seen what kind of clown he is. He's post game. He got the handles of a clumsy fifth grader. Think about him. He hasn't played defense since what, 2018, 2017? Arguably.
Yeah. That's being generous, man. You're being generous with that.
Every pick in the backcourt. Like, what is this? Like, what is this game that we're seeing? We're flopping. He getting up, winking and laughing and shit. You getting blown out by 50. You giggling on the damn bench. I don't come from that. Bro. MJ is the GOAT, undisputably.
Thank you.
Hey, that's a fact, man.
Keep it 100. When I watched that game last night, I thought that the Lakers' game plan was fall to the ground and let the refs decide it. Just fall to the fucking ground constantly. It was embarrassing.
You see, they are starting to market Luka, like you said, Zay. They're starting to market Luka as like this yelling guy and this guy that's like locked in all the time. And
he was evil before. Fake. I remember somebody last year went off talking about, Luka is a bad example to see on TV. And I meant to make a video about it, and I regret that I didn't, because I could put together a montage of LeBron James being worse while someone is saying that Luka's behavior was unacceptable. Now Luka's even worse than he was in Dallas, and he's being praised. Is that what you're telling me?
He has fire. He's fiery now. That's what he is.
Hey, where the fanboys at? Where are the Macho Man Randy Savage fanboys?
Greed, thank you for calling in.
Like Robin.
Appreciate the call.
Come on.
All right, we're trying Nick Tri-State.
Yo, are you a fanboy?
I know Nick. I don't think you're a fanboy.
Of what, LeBron?
I'm sorry,
man. Get him behind Jordan and Kobe, man. Get him behind Jordan and Kobe.
You better be 100 players behind Kobe and Jordan.
There's a lot. Crazy. There's a lot, because Jordan and Kobe are top 2 all time, and that's that, in my opinion, at least.
Man. What, you got something specific to?
LeBron, you know, as I call him, LaFraud. You know, I'm gonna stick to this dynamic about him, and I want my real basketball heads. Y'all gonna agree with me on this. My real basketball heads are gonna understand what I'm saying here. If LeBron James wasn't 6'8", 260, he would be Travis Outlaw in the NBA. Let me explain why. He couldn't go to his right and hit a consistent jump shot till about his 10th year in the league. The book was out on LeBron. Whenever he went left, it was a jump shot. Whenever he went right, he was going straight to the basket. LeBron James he never had a fully developed offensive game till about 2019. Whereas Kobe Bryant, on the other hand, had a fully developed offensive game by 2001. There was not a flaw in his game offensively. And we could all agree, as far as on-ball defenders, LeBron is miles behind both Kobe and Jordan as an on-ball defender. As a help defender, I'll give him his credit. But, if LeBron was never, God gifted that man with sheer athleticism and size that cannot be taught. That's just something that's God-given, bro. You're 6'8", 260, and you run like an animal out there. You know what I mean? All I'm getting at is if he didn't have that God-given ability, he would be a jag in the NBA, bro. There's nothing special that he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
To me,
I'm
that's
not
what makes
gonna
Steph Curry so special.
I'm not gonna concede. I'm not gonna say that he's 6'8". I saw him next to Karl Anthony Towns, and Karl Anthony Towns was barely taller.
So you're saying LeBron might be 6'10"?
I'm saying he's 6'9" at a minimum.
He's probably 6'9".
At a minimum. Yeah. So,
I didn't know roids made you get taller, but that motherfucker's gigantic.
Dude, and if he wasn't that size, he would just be another guy, bro. Like, that's what I'm trying to get at.
I agree with you. And
he would just be another guy. Like, if we're going skill for skill, Jordan and Kobe are a country mile ahead of him, in my opinion.
Miles ahead.
Listen,
Miles
like I said
ahead,
before,
dude.
that makes Steph Curry that much more impressive. He's played his entire career at that size, developing a skill after a catastrophic ankle injury. No, like the two shouldn't even be mentioned in the same sentence ever.
No.
Yeah, the scraps that Curry has had to work with compared to LeBron.
Right.
Well, how about the amount of work Curry has to put into getting his shot compared to LeBron? I mean, how many years did LeBron just receive open alley-oops because he had people like D Wade and Kyrie dishing to him when they were making the defense collapse on them? LeBron James was the beneficiary of having people better than him on his team.
Literally. Do you understand how much cardio you got to have to do what Steph Curry does and still have the stamina and not be fatigued enough to put up a jumper? That's what they're not understanding. From 30
Rip Hamilton, he would dominate this league. Rip Hamilton would right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not right now, maybe 20 years ago.
Let's see if Mr. Callaway, are you a fanboy?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Are
sir.
you a fanboy? Yeah, we hear you.
Hell to the no, no.
Hey, we leave you guys a chance.
Before we start, post the link in there. Fanboys.
Apparently, only Jordan fans are smart enough to click a link.
Well, they don't know what that is.
Hey, Homer Simpson, get your ass in here, man. You don't got to show yourself, man. Just get in here. We want to hear you.
Right. It doesn't even have to be like a combative conversation either. You know what I mean? It's just speaking.
We just want to debate these fanboys to show you how delusional and stupid they are.
I might have to start editing while you guys argue with fanboys, though. Otherwise, I'll never get it done.
Yeah.
Callaway, we didn't let you talk. What are you calling in about?
Callaway. You guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah. Yep, go ahead.
Yep.
All right. So to answer the question, hell no, I'm not a LeBron fanboy whatsoever. But my question is, like a lot of these longevity records that LeBron is setting right now, I just got a question about like how likely do you think it is that some of the guys like Steph or Durant will stay in the league after they're like, early 40s to possibly break some of these pointless LeBron records that he's setting right now? Like, the oldest 40-year-old to get 40 points or the oldest 40-year-old to get a triple-double. How likely do you guys think it is people like Steph or like some other guys might stay around because the league is so easy to kind of, just kind of barely do anything and kind of, stay around even if you're not really straining your body physically? How likely do you think it is guys like Steph or Kevin Durant or some other younger guys could play around that age too and beat some of these pointless records that LeBron's setting right now?
I mean, I think Anthony Edwards gonna have to play until year 22 to get some of this child support off him. So hopefully he'll be able to he'll be able to play. But I don't know, man. Do these guys have them once the contracts get to 70, 80, 90 million dollars a year? Will these guys have the urge to even continue on, even if they're winning or not winning? That's what I'm questioning, because I don't think a lot of these guys want to play. They just want to collect a check, get their 401k, get their retirement check, and get out of there. I don't think they want to win championships.
And the other piece of that is they're actively adjusting the league now to bring scoring down. And that's intentional as well.
Right now they are?
Right now they are. Adam Silver was just talking about there needs to be more defensive intensity. It was right around the All-Star game. There needs to be more defensive intensity in the game. Less threes. That's intentional.
He's talking about shortening
his record is right. The wildest part is when ESPN posts his little 50K thing. All right, cool. But then the asterisk, regular season and postseason
and playoffs.
They don't, right, and playoffs. They don't put the whole thing. So it's again, it's easy to see through if you're not dumb. I guess
the casual fan will think that LeBron scored 50K within the whole entire regular season, when that's just not the truth.
Right.
Yeah, that's weird. I've never heard them actually combine anyone's playoff and like regular season stats. Like, when has anyone ever said combine them together? Like, in the history of the NBA, I've never heard anybody doing that.
I'll tell you when they don't do it is when they want to keep his 10-point streak going, because Michael Jordan has the real streak on that, but they want to talk about the regular season because LeBron James fucked that up in 2011.
Yeah,
it sounds like an argument like a little kid makes if they know they're wrong and they just want to say something to be right.
That was perfect. They will manipulate the stats. They'll be like, yeah, within the last 92 hours, there hasn't been a player that does this.
Right.
This is exactly what they do. They cherry pick, just like how he cherry picks in the game. They cherry pick certain stats and records to show you so you can glaze him.
And then they say, well, Jordan did X, Y, and Z at 40, blah, blah, blah. It is two complete different situations. And that's easy to see through. Jordan was on a Wizards team just playing for fun, whatever. There was no league manipulation for him other than, he got some calls, but they weren't actively bringing guys. Like, his teammates were like Popeye Jones, Rip Hamilton,
Stackhouse,
guys like that. Nobody.
Kwame Brown was on there.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what Rob Parker brought up was that LeBron took 2,000 more shots than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's crazy.
Diaz Army 209 with €5 with a super chat. Yo, big respect from Slovenia. What do y'all think about Amon Thompson? I think he has a character and game to push it in the right direction.
Oh, his athleticism is crazy. Him and his brother can jump out a gym. I do like him in the future. I think he needs to develop more on his game, being able to handle the ball. If he could become more of a ball handler and create his own shot instead of just getting like putbacks and layups and things like that, doing the dirty work. If he can evolve his game past the dirty work, I think he's going to be a star for sure.
Thank you for the super chat. Guys, I have to go pretty soon. What? Okay, fine.
Real quick. How come nobody's talking about your Warriors, by the way? They're never the main story of anything. Jimmy Butler went to that team and has completely turned it around.
Well, if you go by what Barkley said, that they're talking about the Lakers and Warriors when they should be talking about the Cavs and the Thunder.
You wouldn't know the Cavs was on a 12-game win streak. You wouldn't know it.
I mean, when LeBron James says that the media constantly shits on these guys, no, a league devoted to you constantly shits on these guys. Why are you being talked about in the MVP conversation and not Donovan Mitchell? Like, I haven't even gotten to watch Donovan Mitchell because the Lakers are who are always on, but I know what his team is doing. That team is doing. I'd rather hear a conversation about what he's done for a team because that's a more interesting story. I mean,
I watched the Celtics versus Cavs, and man, in that fourth quarter, Donovan Mitchell, Spider, was going crazy.
Jason Tatum needs to relax.
What's that mean?
He's getting a little bit out of pocket. He's trying to be tough and talk trash, and it's not working out in his favor. He's the reason the Cavs beat them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Is there any fanboy out there? We got one more. Can we take one more?
Okay,
One more,
you guys.
and we'll let you get up out of here. We need a fanboy. We are
I've had
searching.
a lot of caffeine.
That's
we are
good.
searching through the YouTube hell for the fanboys. Where are you? You're in every video. You're DMing me on Instagram. You're all over here looking for. Come in here. Where are you?
All right, it's
The
like,
link is in the chat. Link is in the
The
chat.
link is up. Fanboys only.
I don't know why
y'all
you
wanna
think
get
this will
on
be
here.
interesting, because I can tell you right now every single line that they're going to deliver.
We got a clip for him. I got a Draco for you. Come on.
No,
Yeah,
you should make a bingo card. No, listen, you can make a bingo card out of it. You can just write like little excuses down, and as they say them, just mark it off. Just mark it off. You'll win within 30 seconds. It'll be you hate black men.
You know what? That'll
Don't
be
count his pockets. How do you know he flopped? You're not in his body. It'll be just a
You're
bunch
jealous.
You're jealous.
That'll
Right,
be
you're
a
jealous.
drinking game on the Sunday show someday.
Ooh, we should do
the
that.
excuse
Yo,
bingo.
that's genius. I'm in.
Hey.
I'll start right now.
They're gonna
LN.
mention stats. They're gonna mention everything but
That he's a
winning.
good father.
What's
He never
important,
cheated
man?
on his
Yeah.
wife. All right, cool. All right.
You guys hear me?
LN, you are now
Hey, what
in.
up?
We can hear you.
Are you a fanboy?
Not a fanboy.
Oh, my
Just
God.
I did not at all. Had one small criticism for you guys. Don't compare the NBA to feminine type traits, because the WNBA plays harder and more competitive than anyone in the NBA.
Jesus, this is
So I
where
just
we've
heard
gotten.
people say,
That's a strong
like,
point.
oh, that guy plays like a woman or something like that. But like, that is not a good comparison, because if you watch the WNBA games, you will see competitive, tough basketball, more physical than the NBA. So it's just not a fair comparison. But I love it. That's all I had to say.
Goddamn, I don't want to believe.
At the risk of
don't wanna
sounding
believe
like an old man, I say they play like bitches. So that's back then. That wasn't feminine when I said it.
No, and I mean, I think about this a lot. I think everyone understands what we mean, but we're in the age where you shouldn't say the things that you used to say. I know that I have some women that are supporters, so we don't mean an offense
No.
to women. In
No,
fact,
we don't.
being feminine is actually a compliment in the right circumstances. You don't want to see men being feminine. That's the point. But if you're telling me that now we have to start saying you're looking masculine, because that's the real put down, because women are more masculine than the men. I have not watched the WNBA. I don't want to. I can't believe it. Is this true? The WNBA
Hey,
is
I'm gonna give
tougher
it a shot.
than the NBA.
They're
Is this
Hey,
both
I'm
really
about to
true?
do some WNBA videos this year. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a shot, man, because I like the little commercial that they did. They did a little hard commercial. I was like, man, this look like this more physical than NBA. Come on.
Wow. All right, Bob
Hey,
H.
dude,
Bob H, you're on.
are you a fanboy? Talk to me.
You should just have a dedicated line AOH for fanboys to call in. That way we'll know. It'll just be 911 or something.
Yeah,
My time is too valuable. I'm only doing this for you guys.
Man, I'm gonna
Listen,
have to
when I show
I think
LeBron
I think the
James,
fanboys are too scared on your page, man.
when I show LeBron James not being touched, throwing his 250-pound ass backwards out of bounds, and he gets up and shrugs and then adds 2 points to his fraudulent record, and all they can say to me is that I'm a hater, why am I going to spend time letting those people talk?
Did you see the Jalen Brunson injury? He got up, shot 2 free throws. Now, you mean to tell me LeBron gets boxed out, falls on his thigh, and he has to get airlifted to the hospital?
Kyrie destroyed his knee and made 2 free throws.
Right.
LeBron getting carried out on the stretcher by his guys and shit, man. Like It's unbelievable.
Big white truck
because
with a
cramping.
Nike check comes in and takes him out.
What's that fairly buff dude who was on the Mavericks? I think he's on Charlotte now. Last name Williams.
Mark? No, it's not Mark.
Anyway, I did a video last year where LeBron was charging the lane, not making a single basketball move, just went straight through, and this dude just wrapped him up. And I was like, fucking beautiful. That's all you have to do. It wasn't flagrant. He didn't do anything harsh, but he stopped him. And LeBron started
Grant Williams.
And LeBron starts limping. And the announcers start saying, as LeBron's missing his free throws, oh, his mind must be on that foot. Jesus Christ. How many people have we seen, even Klay Thompson's soft ass, when he had a temporarily season-ending injury, shot his free throws. Kobe tore his ACL, shot his free throws. Kyrie Irving destroyed his knee, shot his free throws. Last night, Jalen Brunson shot his free throws. Why do you guys want to call someone who needs the media to cap for him while he's faking an injury? Why are you going to call this person an Iron Man? All I hear is an excuse about some physical ailment that explains away his failures, followed by he's an Iron Man. How do you not understand that that's actual insanity?
AOH, you're confused. He was upset about the LA fires that hadn't happened yet.
That too.
He had that on the back. That was in the back of his mind. He was distracted. He knew it was going to happen. He knew it was going to happen, and he was worried for the future. That's why.
Yeah, he was worried about the fires, even though he's paying $10,000 an hour for private firemen to protect his house. JJ Redick is the one who should have had it on his mind, but they burned down his rental. But man, LeBron's house was never in jeopardy, ever.
No.
Okay, guys, one more try. We have Terrence.
Oh yeah, he's out. Terrence, you a fanboy?
Shit,
he's gone already. And we could talk shit if we wanted to, saying, "Well, this is why you don't call in," blah blah blah. But
no, he's back.
Like
now he's gone again.
See how little care there is. Just call in and have the conversation.
Terrence was on video, and then it went black, and then he left. I don't know. He must have a bad connection.
Man, we get everybody with the Obama phones. What's going on?
What the Boost Mobile?
Get them Obama phones, man. Come on, get up in there.
Maybe if you marketed it as like this is like a show where just like all fanboys are gonna call in. Like, would that be inviting enough?
Well, Bandana Dan back with another super. Sorry, kids, we're 100 years away from the WNBA being comparable in talent. The talent pool of boys versus girls in grade school playing ball. Yeah, but I think they're saying that it's more competitive, that they're trying harder, that they're acting tougher. I don't think anyone's saying that they could beat the men, but then the men would have to actually show up and try. And I think that's the problem. We're looking at a league full of NBA players that are happy to concede games.
Yeah. I think what it is that they always show us like the college games where they missing 75 layups with women's college. And I think that's what steers people away from the WNBA. I think the WNBA got some skilled women in it for sure. It's a couple for sure. I want to see. I'm about to check it out this year. I'm gonna check it out.
They have to play for their money. They have to play for something. You know what I mean? That's the difference. Yeah, a lot of those ladies make like 50 grand, 60 grand a year.
Yeah, they playing overseas in the off season just to check a bag, Right. So I going to OnlyFans in the off season just to check a bag. That's what's crazy, having to go to OnlyFans after the season to get paid.
Bro, we live in a time where a WNBA basketball player got traded for a world assassin politically. Like, that's where we are with things. And that's the power that the WNBA could have harnessed if they really wanted to, but they kind of detached themselves from it. The effort is there. The love is there. You can tell they want to be there. And that's, at the end of the day, I think that's what people appreciate.
That's a fact. I believe that. Is there any more fanboy? We need a fanboy. I need everybody who support us that's in there. I appreciate y'all, but I need y'all to hang up.
Here, I tell you what.
I need y'all to hang up.
What if I schedule a fanboy day? Everyone can know ahead of time that it's fanboy day.
Hey, Speed, we might have to go to my channel, man. We might have to
Bro,
start
that
one
caught
after.
me so
I'm
off
thirsty.
guard.
I'm
Wait, what did-
thirsty for a fanboy. I'm thirsty.
He said, just hang up.
Please, I love y'all. Thank you for supporting, but we need a fanboy in here.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I read Brian C's super chat giving Donovan Mitchell a shout out. Yeah.
I don't think he got a potential to be the face, though. I don't know.
No,
He could be.
none of them do.
If he win a championship, he could be, but he would have to force his way into the conversation. He's not somebody that is just going to go out and be like, oh, I think we should make you the face. No, he's going to have to force his way into the conversation.
Were people shitting on Meg? Meg's one of my longtime supporters. I don't know what all these chats are. They're all half sentences. They could be supporting or hating. Oh well, she's gone now. So
she gone. Yeah, because it's really crazy.
Why don't y'all call in? I don't get it.
Right, I don't get it. You're all in the comment section.
I got to go edit more footage for them to pretend isn't real. So I'll schedule a day for you guys to waste on you.
All right.
Hey Zay, hit me because I'm all about.
Here,
I'm all.
I'll just turn my camera off. I'm going to start editing. You guys honestly want me to keep doing this?
I probably have like a good another hour before I have to do anything productive for this.
Man, I'm chilling, man. It's Friday. I ain't got no job. No, I'm just saying I got a job. But...
Don't you need to look for a place to live, Speam?
No. I'm squatting. I'm good. We're good.
Yeah,
I get mail here. I get mail here, so I'm good. Man. Yeah.
At Panera, you getting mail?
No, they did. They were like these old people looking at me, but it's like, all right, well, I'm animated. What do you want me to do?
Hey man,
I put it up again.
Fanboys, call in, please. We are begging.
Yeah, help me get to 109 followers. I can't keep being in these rooms with these hundreds of thousands of followers.
It's not only fanboys, by the way. That would be stupid to only let fanboys call in. If
I know.
If actual basketball fans want to call in, you are certainly welcome. You'll just be disappointing Zay. Zay is offering therapy. Zay was one of you.
I used to, man. I'd be ready to fight. I was ready to argue. We was taking our shirts off. We was doing all of that stuff that y'all do today. I was one of you. I believed in it. I really thought this guy was the GOAT. I'm like, man, he's got to be. He's jumping all over the gym. He's dunking. But he lost to the Mavericks. Once he lost to the Mavericks, that's when it was like, oh, shit. Like, I couldn't explain it. Like, it couldn't compute with my brain how he lost to the Mavericks. But I still roll with him. Kept riding with him.
You know what? I'm almost willing to put up some sneaks on the line to get like one of these guys to call in and have a rational conversation and can even speak on why they legitimately feel how they feel. Like I put something up for that, definitely, and I keep my word on that. Definitely.
You're going to give a prize?
I mean, something like I'm sending up a signal flare here.
Your own shoes?
I've got enough. I'll be fine. The point is that it's all this text, all this talk, but then when you're given a platform to have this conversation in a civil fashion,
it won't be a conversation.
Oh no,
but it could be.
Maybe we should call it Fanboy Fridays.
Sounds good to me.
I think Uncommon
he got
copyrighted that.
No. He got is it Fanboy Files or Fanboy Fridays?
Oh, I think both of those exist. I can't remember whose is whose.
Okay. My bad, Uncommon, man. I ain't trying to steal your style.
No, man. I'm kidding. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. Maybe he'll call in.
Shout out to Uncommon though, man. He got some real uncommon truths coming out. You feel me? All his man. Hey, he got some good stuff. Y'all gotta listen to him too.
He wrote my music.
Oh, that is right. Part of me has like this confidence though that in 10 years, none of this is going to matter because a lot of this stuff's going to come to light. And
Oh,
it's gonna, it's gonna. No, I think it will, because once he no longer becomes as
Nothing
financially
matters. We have a convicted felon as our
Yeah,
president.
yeah,
Don't tell
yeah,
me
never
that things matter.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you fucking want.
Hey, this guy said the thing I respect about Anthony Edwards is the fact that he's completely unfiltered. He's not letting the cameras have him acting fake, and because of that, he can't be the face of the league. His personal life is the reason why he can't be the face of the league. They want you to interact with. They want you to relate and interact with the younger crowd. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily what he's saying; it's what he does off the camera. That's the problem. You can't be telling women to abort children.
But unfiltered is not a synonym for stupid. Like, you can be unfiltered and still say good things. Like, he says dumb shit all the time. That's not the same thing as just being unfiltered. You can be unfiltered, speak your mind, and not sound like a dumbass.
Like Greg Popovich, when he used to talk to the press, completely unfiltered, but knew what he was talking about.
Yeah. That's a fact.
All right, guys. I think I don't know, Zay. You must have scared the shit out of him.
They don't want to come up here, man. What's going on?
Hey, everybody, come back on Sunday. Sunday's going to be a special episode of the Sunday panel. And you guys, thank you for joining, and I'll see you on Sunday. Thanks, everybody who supported today.